Hi, my name is Elizabeth Blandon from Blandon Law, and today I'd like to discuss 3 surprising things about an asylum interview. Some people come to see me and they say, "Oh, I wish I had known that." Sadly, usually they come to see me after they have been referred from the asylum office to immigration court. Basically, they've been denied. And I'll tell them a few things, and they'll say, "Oh, I wish I had known that about the asylum interview. I didn't know that going in." The first one is that it's not going to be a conversation. People usually file an asylum application and they think they're going to have a conversation with an immigration officer. That's not the way it works. It is like an interrogation. The officers are going to be asking questions and you have to respond to those specific questions. In another way that it's very much like an interrogation is that it is the applicant, the person who's applying for asylum, that has the burden of proving that they deserve the asylum. People sometimes think, oh, well, the immigration officer knows plenty about asylum. I only have to tell them my story and I'm going to get asylum. That's not the way it works. Even though the asylum officer might present a very good case as to why you deserve asylum, they're not going to do that. The burden is on the applicant, the burden meaning that the applicant has to prove his or her case or else they will not get asylum. The second thing is that even though the United States has great resources and knows a lot about what goes on in many different countries, still, because the burden is on the applicant has to provide a lot of country condition information. It's repetitive and redundant, but that's the way it is. Lastly, one of the things that a person has to establish in order to get asylum is they have to say that they either suffered significant harm in the past or they fear that they're going to suffer significant harm in the future. Significant harm is another way for saying persecution. Well, people are often surprised to know that what everyone in their home country considers terrifying events are not considered significant harm by officers at immigration, asylum officers at immigration. And I'll give you some really good examples of that. Threats from someone in an international criminal organization would be considered terrifying by most people. You take those threats seriously because you know that person's capable of killing you. Second, if you've ever been arrested by a corrupt police officer, you know that being arrested may be a terrible thing because it means you could be killed. And last, another one is an attempted kidnapping of yourself or your children. Even though you weren't actually kidnapped, just the fact that you were almost kidnapped is enough to terrify anyone into leaving their country. Amazingly, these 3 examples by themselves are not considered sufficient harm in order to get asylum. This is the reason why you need to speak to an immigration attorney who's experienced specifically in asylum cases to determine how best to present your case. I hope this video has been helpful to you. We're here to inform and protect, and to our clients, we always are available to open the door to your success.